Hello, thank you for joining the Identity Unplugged podcast. My name is Axai Desai. I'm the CEO and founder of Observe ID, as well as your host. Today's guest is Patrick Benoit. Patrick, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Axai. I'm really honored to be here and look forward to our conversation.
Excellent. So before we get started, Patrick, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Again, Patrick Benoit. I'm the global CISO at Brinks. Not Brinks Home Security. That was a spin-off company from back in 2012, but Brinks armored cars, cash movement, guns and guards kinds of thing. And I have been here for about a year. Prior to that, I ran global GRC and the BISO program at CBRE and had designed and built a security program as a deputy for a former Experian entity, and then was at Experian and was at Dell Services. So had a varied career there, and long time ago, ex-military.
Excellent, excellent. A lot of good experience and a lot of wisdom and wealth of knowledge with you. So thank you for the introductions. And I also wanted to point out to our listeners that you recently won the Midcap Global Chief Security Officer 2023 award. So first, thank you for your service, being in the military and serving the U.S. Army, as well as congratulations for the award.
Thank you. I'm always honored when someone recognizes, but I have to take a step back and give credit where credit is due. I can only point the direction and help guide the team, but the team is the one that really gets the credit for everything done.
All right, Patrick, we know that October is a cybersecurity month, so we'll start from there. In your view, how can organizations foster a security mindset among all the employees? And when I talk about employees, contractors, we have consultants, of course, we have third-party federated identities, etc. And not just the security role folks.
Yeah. If people only focus on the things that are pertinent to them, relative to them, relevant to them, and important to them. And so I think in security awareness over the years, we've made a bit of a mistake as an industry. We focused on helping people understand how to be safe at work, protect your laptops and protect your identity, and don't let people tailgate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all those things like that. But it's been always focused on protecting the business.
Cool.
What we do at our work very seldom goes home with us because we shut it off and we leave it alone. So instead, we need to teach how do you protect yourself and your family from a cybersecurity point of view personally. How do you protect yourself at home when you're away from the office? Because those things that we learn in our personal life and were important to us in our personal life, we will bring to work with us.
Excellent. Yeah, well said. I think it's common sense. What you do at home, bring it to the work. For example, changing the password and ensure that the passwords are X number of characters. It's a mix of things. I think those are the basic concepts that we use in how we build the business at home. You bring it to work. Very well said.
Exactly.
Yeah, excellent. All right. So, Patrick, I know in today's world environment with the pandemic, everybody wants to work from home. They're so used to it. Organizations want to offer flexible work environment. Migration to the cloud is here. Every organization wants to go to the cloud as well. And that have altered how and where employees can connect and where the data is residing at the end of the day, right? So the more spread out your data is, the less visibility and control you have. And if you don't have a visibility, you cannot take any action, as we all know. So how do you regain that visibility aspect of it and control as we used to have it when we were inside the data center?
Yeah, and I also am a visual person. So when I visualize perimeter, we still have a perimeter. So I think it's faulty to say we don't have a perimeter anymore. The difference is instead of having a circle for a perimeter, we have our central point, and then we have this perimeter that kind of goes like this, every endpoint that we have out there. So there's still technically a perimeter of some sort, and we just have to keep that in mind. As far as visibility goes, when we start talking about the cloud, I also take exception with the idea that the cloud is so different. The cloud is just somebody else's infrastructure. So we have to secure it as if it was our own infrastructure. We have to pay attention to it the same way. And we have to gain visibility first and foremost by scanning our network and discovering on our network and understanding what our assets are. And we have to get away from this idea that assets are only the pieces of hardware that are the endpoints, because assets are our credentials, assets are our endpoints, assets are our software, assets are everything that we can possibly think of that has value to us as a company. And getting an understanding of what that is, in my mind, is the first step towards being able to secure your environment. And then from there, it becomes an exercise in identity and access first, and then you layer in protecting data specifically, and then you layer in restoration recovery, backup recovery, disaster recovery, and those things. I don't see that as that much different. It's bigger, it's more extensive, but it's the same principles that we need to apply to the new environment.